Yo, what's going on, ItzSawk here, and today I'm bringing you guys my PCL Season 2 Draft Analysis with me, ItzSawk, morning voice ItzSawk, as you guys can hear, a little bit deeper than what it usually is. It's a little bit earlier than what I like to admit, however, we're not going to talk about it. So, PCL Season 2, I am super excited to show you guys what I ended up getting. For context, I had the 9th overall pick out of 16 coaches. And if you do not know what snake style is, it goes from pick 1 to 16, and then 16 gets another pick and comes back to 1. Then 1 gets another pick and goes back to 16, and so on and so forth. So, having the 9th overall pick means I'm in the very middle of the draft. People usually do not like this, however, I actually do not mind it. It gives me the idea that I'm never too far away from my next pick. I'm always about 16 or so picks away. So I'm never waiting from like the first pick down to 16 and all the way back to 1 to grab my next 2. I personally prefer being in the middle. Actually, it's a little bit easier on the mind knowing that I'm not going to have to wait so long. Anxiety doesn't build up, all that fun jazz. But anyway, I digress. So, originally the plan was Kartana. I wanted Kartana, Keldeo, and something like Mega Venusaur, or something, not Mega Venusaur, like Mega Charizard X. However, I ditched that entire plan with my first pick. So, as you guys know, PCL is known for allowing some stupid stuff, like broken type stuff. I wasn't planning on getting much of the crazy broken type stuff. I was actually going to wait till later to see if I could possibly get any of those broken, busted mons. However, at the 9th overall pick, your Minnesota Twin Needles were able to grab Locane the Dialga. Now, how Dialga made it to pick 9, I will never know. This Pokemon's ability and pressure is super nice because it's known for being one of the best stalling abilities out there. Pressure stalling your opponent out of their synthesis, aromatherapies, heal bells, moonlights, soft boiled, roosts, whatever it is really, really beautiful to be able to do. Now, let's talk about some base stats for a second. 100 base HP. 120 base attack, 120 base defense, 150 base special attack, 100 base special defense, and 90 base speed. This Pokemon's lowest base stat is its speed at base 90. For a steel type, that's really, really quick. And being 150 base special attack and 120 base attack means running either or physical or special is absolutely 100% viable. And the best thing is, its moves support that theory. So with moves like Aura Sphere and Brick Break, just 2 fighting moves right off the bat that are almost the same base power, but are physical and special. It gets moves like Draco Meteor, Dragon Pulse. It also gets moves like Dragon Claw and Dragon Tail to phase people out with Dragon Tail. Earth Power and Earthquake for some more physical special splits. Fire Blast and Flamethrower with Flash Cannon along there. It also gets Home Claws, it also gets Hyper Voice, Ice Beam, Iron Head, Outrage, Overheat, Power Gem, Rock Slide, and Shadow Claw. It also gets Stealth Rock, which is amazing because in case I need a rocker on the team and I can't really fit it onto anything else, I can always just slap it on Dialga if need be. It also gets Stone Edge, which is Stone Mist for me, Thunderbolt, Thunder Wave, Toxic, and Trick Room for some Trick Room shenanigans that we might see later on down the road. Next up. So, actually, let me sit down and talk about Dialga for a second. So, me ditching my Kartana, Keldeo, Mega Charizard X plan was kind of hinged on me getting Kartana in pick 9 and not seeing something better on the board. However, because I had Dialga, I scrapped that entire thing, and I went into a quick frenzy trying to figure out, okay, what pairs with Dialga well? Well, it's weak to Earthquake, it's weak to Fire move, it's weak to Ground move, Fairy's neutral against it. So it's really just its biggest weakness is fighting for steel and ground for steel, because the steel type covers the dragon's weaknesses. So I decided to grab a flying type, and one of the best flying types on the board is Zapdos, AC/DC. If you guys get the reference, you guys are cool. If you guys don't get the reference, electrical is often powered by air coolers and direct coolers, so the controls when you're doing like some heating and ventilation type stuff. Otherwise, it's the band, whichever one you prefer. Zapdos gets some really fun moves. In Agility, Baton Pass, it gets Defog, which is one of my first Defoggers. I have Discharge, Drill Peck, Extra Sensory for some cool stuff. It has Heat Wave, as most people know. It gets the Screens, it gets Protect, it gets Return, Roar, Roost, Signal Memes, Sub, Tailwind, Toxic, Volt Switch, Wild Charge for physical electric stab, because why? And then it also gets U-Turn, which is really, really nice. So, being one of the bulkiest mons out there while still being able to hold my own and fire off some really nice special attacks with its base stats of 90 HP, 90 attack, 85 defense, 125 special attack, 90 defense, and 100 speed. Now these stats may look lackluster, but you also have to remember that it's a bulky electric flying. They're not too common, and Zapdos is known because it still hits hecka hard while still being able to take a lot of hits. So being able to be reliable and just come on in, I can roost up, I can defog rocks away. It's really, really nice to have on the team. Next up here, I thought about, okay, so I'm going to want a fairy type. Another flying type wouldn't be too bad. I can fix that later with some like stuff that resists it. Sure. And my next idea was the Pokemon Togekiss. Repentance, because I'm gonna have to be repenting because I'm definitely gonna go for some flinches this year. Most of you know that my luck is absolutely terrible, so I had the idea of making this name 95, as it's a 95% chance for me to hit, but I'll still miss. I'm terrible. So looking at its abilities, Super Luck, Serene Grace, and Hustle. We're not ever using Hustle unless I'm literally meaning, so we may see it then. But otherwise, it's probably gonna be Serene Grace because Air Slash. Because Air Slash, Age and Power get the boost. He doesn't like extra sensory trying to boost. Some like I don't know, something like Shadow Ball, Signal Memes, Tri Attack could be kind of fun with it because I'm going to freeze some people. But yeah, the ability to Baton Pass and Nasty Plot Up on its own are amazing. It also gets Morning Sun and Roost for reliable recovery. But yeah, a lot of fun moves this Togekiss can use, with its base stats being 85 base HP, 50 base attack, 95 defense, 120 base special attack, 115 base speed, and 80 base speed. So 120 base special attack is amazing because Nasty Plot Up and that Air Slash are going to start doing a lot of damage and flinch you down. So it's going to be one of those things where if I can get it set up late game, I could possibly just take a couple dubs with just Togekiss being in the back and Nasty Plot Up, Air Slash 3 times and win. Could be something like that, but we don't know yet. Next up here, I'm like, okay, I need an Edgequake resist. I need something that can help me resist Earthquake and something that help me resist Rock. I got one of the two. I got Keldeo. So the plan from Kartana, Keldeo, Mega Charizard X has a little bit of fruition to it. I do have my Keldeo. So, Keldeo is going to be nicknamed Twix because you never know whether it's going to be left Twix or right Twix coming in physical or special. Because at 72 base attack, it also has Sword Stance. So this could easily start coming up on you. With other base stats being at 91 base HP, 72 base attack, 129 base special attack, 90 base def, and 108 speed. This Pokemon gives me a really nice speed tier that I haven't seen yet over base 100. So it gives me my first mon over base 100 speed. And it also gives me the ability to run physical or special with some cool moves such as Priority Aqua Jet, Close Combat. It also gets some cool things like Liquidation, Poison Jab, Sacred Sword, Stone Edge. It also gets X-Scissor, Air Release. So those are some fun physical moves it gets in its move pool. So that's if I choose to run physical. Now if you go special, it's a little bit more interesting. Focus Miss, Icy Wind, Hydro Miss, Surf, Scald, Secret Sword, and some other interesting hidden powers. Other than that, it's pretty basic. So its move pool for special may be shallow, however its physical move pool is kind of interesting. So we never know what we may see with Keldeo. It's going to be one of those mons that I feel I'm going to do well with just because I'm going to be able to bring whatever kind of set I want, whatever set I feel does the most. And a lot of people don't really use physical Keldeo, so they sleep on the boy. However, we'll see in eventualness. Yeah, we'll roll with that one. Cool. Next up here, I do have Alolan Marowak. Alolan Marowak is not going to be nicknamed because reasons. Other than that, it has a couple of cool abilities in Cursed Body, Lightning Rock, and Rock Head, meaning Flare Blitz from Rock Head will not take any damage. Yes, this Pokemon does get Flare Blitz. It also gets some cool moves like Bone Meringue, Brick Break, Earthquake, Fire Punch, Flare Blitz. Weird, it gets fire moves. It's a fire type. Focus Punch, Frustration, of course, Iron Head, Knockoff, Low Kick, Outrage, Power Up Punch. It also gets Perish Song, which I didn't know it got. Rock Slide, Seismic Toss, Shadow Bone, one of the new moves that Marowak Alolan gets. Also gets Stone Edge, some Stealth Rocks, Swords Dance, Thunder Punch, Toxic, and of course Will-O-Wisp. So Marowak's a pretty cool mon because it allows me the it gives me a really nice Ice Beam resist, which I noticed I was becoming a little bit weak to as well. It does give me another Earthquake weakness, which is kind of bad. However, I already have 2 mons that resist it. And I have 2 mons that can come on in on the other side of that can take Stone Edges. So it really just depends on what I'm wanting to do with this Pokemon. Marowak Alolan gives me a really nice defensive backbone to the team as well, with 60 base HP, 80 base attack, 110 base defense, 50 base special attack, 80 base def, and 45 base speed. It gives me a pretty slow mon to underspeed some Pokemon that may be in that middle speed tier that I want to underspeed in case something like Trick Room were to pop up. However, I digress. We can talk about that later. So, Alolan Marowak was on this team originally because of Ice Beam. However, after the draft, I'll tell you guys what kind of went through my mind as I was looking at my full team. However, let's move on. So next up here, we do have Salamence. Salamence is my 6th pick overall in this draft if you guys have been keeping up. And Intimidate is a really, really nice ability for me to have. It also has Moxie, which is amazing. So if Scarf Moxie is definitely a set. Bulky Intimidate's also a set. It's also one of my 2 Z-move users. So as you guys know, PCL kind of has the same as GBA type league rules. So Tier 1 and Tier 5, Tier 2 and Tier 4, or Tier 3 and Tier 3, or anything below that. So if you want to do a Tier 3 and Tier 4, go for it. If you want to do a Tier 2 and Tier 5, go for it. If you wanted to do a Tier 1 and Tier 2, you could not. It has to be, basically it has to be 6 or higher for your Z, if you add the tiers of each Z move mon. So it has to be 6 or higher in order for both of it to work. But yeah, Mence is really nice because it has a Z move. It's one of the best Z movers in the format, in my opinion. Moves like Aqua Tail, Brick Break, Crunch, Draco Meteor, Dragon Claw. It has Defog, it has Dragon Dance, which is amazing. It has Dragon Tail for phasing, Earthquake, Fire Blast, Flamethrower, Fire Fang, Yeet Wave, Hydro Pump, Hyper Voice, Outrage, Return, Rock Slide, Shadow Claw, Stone Edge, Zen Headbutt, with some cool moves like Wish, Toxic, Tailwind, Roost, and Roar, and Refresh, which is really nice. So this Pokemon has a lot of interesting things going for it, and being a Z-mover, this could be a really, really fun thing to watch out for. Its base stats being 95 base HP, 135 base attack, 80 base defense, 110 base special attack, 80 base def, and 100 base speed. So this really helps me out because it gives me another Pokemon at 100 base speed, which I already have with Zapdos, but like I said earlier, speed is not a bad thing, especially since it's the base 100. 110 base special attack, I can fire off some really, really strong special moves from a Z move. I can also fire off some stupid strong 135 base attack Z moves if I decided to go +1/+1 with Dragon Dance into a Z move. Something's fallen over. So that does it for the first of my 6 picks. Now going into the back half, because as you may notice, I do not have my Mega yet. At this point in the draft, I'm like, okay, I know what Mega I want. I'm going to start messaging the people who have not taken a Mega. So right before I picked my 7th pick, I went around, I talked to a bunch of people who hadn't picked their Mega yet, and I actually figured out each one of them who wanted what. So we were able to format that, okay, no one is taking this Mega, so this person's safe taking it. So the people I DM'd in order would have been JB Westside, would have been Shayquaza, Serene Grace, then I think I DM'd Matt O'Shea next, who's also in this league. I think I DM'd Kurt about his Mega. I also DM'd Danza, token minorities, Kurt, like I said, and Sarah. So in order, JB, Shay, Matt, Danza, Kurt, and Sarah. I all talked to them and figured out which megas they wanted, and no one is looking at the same megas. So we were able to figure it out. So we were all able to take our megas in the last round to be able to not snipe each other. We didn't have to worry about it, so we could take the rest of our drafts before we took our mega. So it's really, really nice because I was able to do that. Everyone kind of had a little bit of pressure lifted off them for this draft. I guess some people do a draft with pressure, but what do I know? I'm just here. So the next Pokemon is something that I've wanted to try for a while, and as some of you may know from my from my good pal Spedshed, this Pokemon is basically his like it's one of his like 3 mascot mons, I guess you would say. Like this, Meloetta, and like Mega Heracross are like 2 of his favorite, 3 of his favorite Pokemon. And this Pokemon is Smeargle. So Smeargle gets access to literally every move except Dark Void. It can, it has the awesome ability in Sketch. So I literally get to permanently copy whatever move that is, and I keep that for the rest of Smeargle's existence. So I can sketch whatever move I want to do and make it easier on me. It's so amazing because I don't even have to start doing that. I can just have someone gen me in a Smeargle with all the moves because it doesn't matter. It literally gets all the moves anyway because it, like, oh, it sketched it. Cool. But, yeah. Technician's pretty nice. Own Tempo is really nice from getting confused. And Moody is banned. So Technician and Own Tempo are the 2 abilities I can use. Its base stats are very laughable at best. 55 base HP, 20 base attack, 20 base special attack, 35 base defense, 45 base special defense, and 75 base speed. So, the thing with Smeargle that really drew me to it is literally every move. So it gets Spikes, Stealth Rock, Sticky Web, Toxic Spikes, and that's a set right there. Literally just hazards, all hazards. It also gets moves like Defog, it moves some cool moves like Flamethrower or Nuzzle or like Spore. It's really, really cool to kind of see what it's going to be doing. So it's going to be a fun Pokemon, and I cannot wait to use it. Next up here, I knew I wanted a Poison type, a grounded Poison type at that. And my picks left in order had to be my Mega, a Tier 4, and 2 Tier 5s, because I'd taken all my other stuff with my free points. And my Mega has to be at least a Tier 2 Mega or lower. So we have to keep that in mind as we keep going through. But like I said, I messaged everyone, and this Mega was not on anyone else's radar, on their draft board, anything like that. So it was free for mine to take. So I'm going to take that in the last round and get my 3 other picks out of the way first. So next up here, we do have Quillfish named Choji with Poison Point or Swift Swim or Intimidate, which is a really, really nice ability for Quillfish to have. Get some cool moves like Aqua Jet, Destiny Bond, Haze, Pain Split. It also gets some nice moves in Ice Beam, Liquidation, Aqua Jet, Acid Spray. It also gets some interesting moves like Scald, Shadow Ball, Signal Memes, Sludge Bomb / Wave. It gets Spikes and Toxic Spikes. Thunder Wave. It gets Taunt. It gets Swords Dance. It gets Surf. So it has a lot of things going for it. So don't sleep on a Swords Dance, Aqua Jet, Liquidation, Poison Jab set. Because with 95 base attack, that's something that's a possibility. Its other stats are as follows: 65 base HP, 95 aforementioned attack, 85 base defense, 55 base special attack, 55 base special defense, and 85 base speed. So with Intimidate, 85 base defense and 65 HP will get the job done. So it's really nice to have. It can come in, it can get rid of Poison Spikes. It's an Intimidator. It forms kind of a, quote, Intimidate core with Salamence, which is really nice. If I have something that comes in that has, like, stupid high base attack, like a Mega Medicam, I know Quillfish doesn't like being in against a Mega Medicam. However, Intimidate is really nice because I can weaken it. It has to, like, bulk up again or whatever it does, whatever it wants to do. But yeah, that is Quillfish. Next up here, we do have our other Z-mover, Torterra, aka Biome. Now, Torterra gives me a really nice Edgequake resist, which this team was really lagging if you guys couldn't have tell. with some cool stats in 95 base HP, 109 attack, 105 defense, 75 base special attack, 85 base def, and 56 speed. This Pokemon has some really nice bulk going for it. With 95 base HP and 105 defense, it's actually pretty reliable. It gets some cool moves such as Synthesis for its own recovery. It also gets some interesting moves like Bullet Seed and Crunch, Earth Power / Earthquake depending on what you want to go for, but if you run Earth Power, your choice words. Get Drain Grass, and it also gets Heavy Slam. It gets Iron Head, Leaf Storm, Leech Seed, Nature Power, Outrage. It gets Reflect and Light Screen, so the screens. It gets Roar, it gets Rock Polish, Rock Slide, Seed Bomb, it gets Stealth Rock, Swords Dance. It also gets Wood Hammer, Super Power, Stone Edge. So that's a lot of utility moves that could be run, a lot of interesting moves that can be done. So we'll leave it at that. But that is Biome the Torterra, my second Z-move user. So that's really interesting because it was either this or the other tier 5 that I was going to take. That is a Z-mover. I figured this one would be better just because I feel like I can run this one more often reliably. So yeah, that is Biome the Torterra. Second to last tier, but probably the most important pick, the tier 1 from not PCL. That'd be interesting for me to take a tier 5 from tier 1. That might not work. I'll ask Austin. But the tier 1 from UTL, we all know him, we all love him. It's Palindrome the Giraffe Rig. Now, some people may call this Colorado because I'm a giraffe. Cue clip.
You guys say Colorado.
I'm a giraffe. And yeah. So I personally prefer the nickname Palindrome because Giraffe Rig is best Palindrome. Don't at me. But Giraffe Rig gets some really cool moves. You may be asking, Sawk, why the hell would you draft this? You already have a meme pick in the biome. You already have a meme pick in It's Metro, aka Smeargle. You guys don't know me well enough then. With the cool moves like Agility, Baton Pass, Calm Mind, Foul Play, Earthquake, Dazzling Memes, Grass Knot, Hyper Voice, it gets both of the screens as well. It gets Nasty Plot, it gets Magic Coat, it gets Psychic Fang, which is a stronger and more accurate Zen Headbutt, so that is better than Zen Headbutt. It gets Shadow Ball and Signal Memes, it gets Sucker Punch for priority. Thunderbolt and Thunder Wave, it gets Toxic, Trick, and Trick Room. It also gets Wish. It also gets Ally Switch, which Z Ally Switch is a move Brendan knows. But, yeah, we're going to leave it at that one for that one. It also gets some cool moves like Assurance, it gets Beat Up, it's Charge Memes. Yeah, it's a really interesting mod because it's a normal type. It has some really interesting moves, that I can use that I'm able to put on this Pokemon and have some fun with. Its abilities being Inner Focus, Early Bird, and Sap Sipper are all not bad. Sap Sipper probably being the second best one to Inner Focus because I fucking hate flinching. But yeah, so its base stats aren't that great. However, it does get the job done. 70 base HP, 80 base attack, 65 base defense, 90 base special attack, 65 base special defense, and 85 base speed. So it does a little bit of work for me. It can do some things if I see a good matchup for it. If I can find something that it can do that actually can do some work, who knows, maybe we might see Palindrome come to a couple weeks. But I digress. So last and certainly not least, we have the Mega Pokemon itself. So, our Mega for this season in PCL is going to be All Might, the Mega Heracross. So Mega Heracross is making its debut in Minnesota, in St. Paul, working its way to try to be the very best, like no one ever was. Showing the true power of All for One. Not All for One, One for All, sorry, that's the bad one. Mega Heracross's stats are as follows. 80 base HP, 185 base attack, 115 base defense, 40 base special attack, 105 base special defense, and 75 speed. So 75 base speed is nothing to laugh at. It's actually kind of middle speed tier, which isn't bad. Its ability being Skill Link's kind of fun, being able to put things together the same, such as Bullet Seed, Rock Slide, and Pin Missile. It also gets some really fun moves such as Body Slam, Brick Break, Close Combat, Earthquake, Focus Punch, Knockoff, Mega Horn, Night Slash, Pursuit, Rock Slide, Shadow Claw, Stone Edge. It also gets Swords Dance. A Swords Dancing Mega Heracross is going to claim a life and then have you tell me what's coming in next. A lot of things don't want to come in next. However, I digress. So, we are going to leave that at that. That is my team. So after the draft, I was able to get one transaction done. So I ended up dropping Alolan Marowak, as you guys could probably guess, and I picked up Flygon. So Flygon gives me a Levitating Mon, which is nice. It also gives me a nice Stone Edge resist. It does make my team a little bit more weak to Ice Beam, however, I can work around that with some of my other transactions that I might be getting after week 1. But yeah, that is pretty much Flygon for you. Its base stats are pretty simple, being 80 base HP, 100 base attack, 80 base defense, special attack and spit def, and 100 base speed. So another mon at the 100 base speed tier, so my team is a little quicker than most, I would say, because of the average of it. However, it's going to be a lot of fun. So Flygon gets some cool moves such as Boom Burst, Bug Buzz, Crunch, Defog, Dragon Dance with Draco Meter, Dragon Claw, Dragon Tail, Dragon Pulse, Earth Power, or Earthquake. Fire Punch, Flamethrower, Fire Blast. It also gets Giga Drain and Heat Wave. It gets Outrage, Power Up Punch, Quick Attack for Priority, Rock Slide and Return, Roost, Signal Meme, Stone Edge, Super Power, Tailwind, Thunder Punch, Toxic, and U-Turn. So a lot of fun moves this Pokemon gets that I can look forward to using myself. But with that, let's move into who I play. So in the week 1 that you guys will see here sometime in the hopefully near future is the Arkansas Razor Winds, formerly the Colorado Buffalons, JB Westside, and his Chandelure Having Butt. As you guys know, last season, JB handed me a pretty hard 2-0 loss with Chandelure picking up 5 kills. So I need to be careful because he has that Pokemon again, of course, because he wants to trigger me. Next up here we do have the Groningen Glades, who actually is a new coach this season. So, he actually is, the Groningen Glades, I should say, are coached by Lux Santa. You guys should definitely go check him out. He is in the description below, just like the rest of the coaches. Then I play the Dallas Starmies, Shaqueza, another one of my good friends. I then play another new coming coach, the Portage Herdiers, coached by Just Kurt. Be sure to check him out as well. And then week 5. Week 5 is going to be a fun matchup. I get to play Tom Z and the San Jose Sharpedos. I'm very much looking forward to that game because Tom knows I get hacked way too much, and my intent is to beat him down so hard he respects me. He puts some respect on my authority, as the cop would put it. Next up here, we do play the Miami Malamarlins, coached by Tone. You guys may know of him. We then play the Montreal Milotics in Week 7, coached by Matt O'Shea. Then Week 8, we return to play the Portage Herdiers again. In Week 8, again, coached by Kurt. Then Week 9 is a rematch. My favorite rematch from last season, the Lawrence Talonflames. Free differential! I get to play Garchomp the God, and each time I've played Austin, something stupid has put in way too much work. So PCL Season 1, it was ICMC Chronon. In IBA, I pulled out a Cancer Starmie, said it did too much work. Week 10. Week 10, we do play a Falls, aka the 14th Doctor. He is also a newcomer to this league. Week 11, we come back and play the Groningen Glades again. We play Lux for a second time. And then Week 12, we close out the season by playing Tone and the Miami Malamarlins. So our division games this season, as you guys can probably tell, the Portage Herdiers and Kurt, the Groningen Glades and Lux, and the Miami Malamarlins in Tone. I'm not going to say this division looks weak because each one of these battlers could easily take the division. But I think I have a very solid shot at this with my team. Looking at their teams, you guys can go watch their draft analysis to see what the heck they have. But yeah, that is going to be my team. I hope you all have a fantastic afternoon. I do stream on Twitch. Be sure to check that out below. Follow so you guys can know when I go live. Follow my Twitter, @ScooterSawk. But yeah, join my Discord. Pretty much all I wanted to plug. But like I said, be sure to check out all the other PCL coaches, especially the Lawrence Talonflames, aka Garchomp the God. He's the commissioner of this league, and I'm just here helping him out. But yeah, I am going to get the hashtag up on out of here, guys. With that, I'm out. Peace out, Scouts.